You gotta start over.
No, it's fine. I'll edit it out.
Okay.
Hey guys, and welcome to Disney WTF, where we talk about what's the fuss about Disney. I'm Richie, and I'm here with my partner in good deeds, Lori, and she's a Disney lover. I just really don't get it, but somehow we've figured out a way to make this relationship work.
Nice.
All right. In this episode,
Trip report.
Yeah.
Plan that.
Yes. All right.
So today we're going to talk about our June trip report. We're going to kind of just start with the planning stages and then kind of go into the actual trip. So whose idea was it to go? Was it mine or yours?
Well, we were gonna go because we had something possibly to do at the house that we shouldn't be here for. So I was like, oh, maybe we should just go to Disney. Plus, it was our last weekend before the blackout date. Mm-hmm. So I think it was like I mentioned it, and she's like, oh, duh, let's go. So yeah.
Yeah, so we're annual pass holders, well, silver pass holders, so we don't get access during the summer to the parks, which, I mean, isn't a big deal for me because even if I really wanted to go, I could still have fun at the hotels, Disney Springs, anything like that, and plus it's pretty hot, so... Yeah. But anyways, that's besides the point. So technically, it was Richie's idea.
It was my idea.
Which is crazy because It's like the fuss, you're finally understanding what the fuss is all about.
Weird. No, well, we have some revelations to go through that I found on this trip that I'm excited to go through. But so let's start from the beginning.
Okay. So it was kind of a last minute trip. Maybe we had a week before Friday when we decided to go. And
luckily we live in Miami, so it was only a 4-hour drive. So
yeah, not even really, since we leave pretty early in the day. But I was kind of worried about finding a hotel. Mm-hmm. Because when you try to book last minute, a lot of the value hotels, which is kind of what's in our budget, are gone, especially the ones for Florida residents, because they have deals for Florida residents.
Yeah.
But luckily there was a room available at All Star Music for a super good deal, and we were able to book that and stay there. And even fast passes. So we booked fast passes for Animal Kingdom because that's where we wanted to start the day at. They were available too. And we'll kind of go over...
That's because of Pandora.
I know. I'm 100% thinking that's because of Pandora. That all these other great rides were available at decent times. So, yeah.
So we had I remember getting there and it was super early in the morning. Well, we obviously did our pre-Disney ritual. So we went to Starbucks. And then what time did we get there? Was it like 7:30, 8:30? What time was it? It was like 7 something, wasn't it?
Into the parking lot or Starbucks?
No, when we started like driving in and when we started driving into Disney.
It was just before 8 a.m.
Yeah, there was so much traffic. Mm-hmm. And we were just like, whoa, it's so early and there's so much traffic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and once we drove under the big Walt Disney World arch, it was stop. Which is good if you want to take a picture of the arch, but we were like just ready to go. Like, oh, I want to go.
It was a solid photo op opportunity.
Yeah, but there was definitely traffic. I'm not sure if it was I was convinced, like, oh, this is all Pandora's fault. That's why this is happening.
Yeah.
But it might have just been some rush hour traffic in the morning, maybe some cast members getting to work.
100%, I think it was Pandora.
Okay, well, I really believe so too.
Yeah.
But so we got into Animal Kingdom, and they must have opened those gates to the parking lot pretty early because there was no backup at the parking stop where they take the money. What would you call that?
The toll kind of thing. It looks like a toll stop. Oh no.
So there was no wait really at the toll to the parking lot.
Yeah.
And even then we got a pretty good parking spot, but we were so excited. It's like the number one cardinal rule. You remember where you park. You take a picture of where you park at. We didn't do that.
Yeah, we were super excited to just like hustle
we just
in.
Walked away.
We thought there was going to be like a really long line to just even get into the what's the place called?
Animal Kingdom.
No, the Pandora. I always forget the name of the land.
Pandora. You called Pandora, the world of Avatar.
So the world of Avatar. Yeah, I thought there was going to be a really long line. We thought there was going to be a really long line to get in there. So we hustled and we completely forgot to like mark or remember where we parked.
That's okay.
So anyway.
So when we got there, there was no extra magic hours posted for Animal Kingdom, which is usually, if it's a morning extra magic hour for people who are staying in the resorts, you can go in 1 hour before the park opens from the general people who are coming in. But they were just letting people in. And part of that is probably also because of Pandora. that they wanted to make sure that people are not queuing for like into the parking lot trying to get into Animal Kingdom.
But don't they have like the extra hours or something like that? Is that considered a morning thing or is it only a night thing?
Well, they have both. So it kind of depends on what park and what day.
Okay, gotcha.
So that particular day, there was actually evening extra magic hours for Animal Kingdom, which I've never heard of this before. Animal Kingdom was going to stay open till 1 a.m. for extra magic hours, which is insane.
Yeah.
Because before they closed, right around sunset, but now it's just like, hey, you can come and stay all you want.
Yeah.
All day long. So first thing we did when we got there, we went right to Pandora. We heard a lot of rumors before that there were hours wait just to get into the land. So we really wanted to try to hustle over there to make sure that if we did have to wait in line, that we wouldn't spend our whole day waiting in line just to get into the land.
Yeah.
But when we got there, it was not a long... Yeah. We didn't have to wait. We walked right in. There were already 2 really long lines for Navi River Journey and Flight of Passage. So when we first walked in, I think that the Navi River Journey was 60-minute wait. No, it might have been 80-minute wait. Anyways. And then Flight of Passage, I think it was 140-minute wait at that time.
It was like 300.
No, it was 300 after we left the land. Which we were only there for maybe like an hour, just kind of tooling around, taking pictures, exploring.
It was pretty fascinating to see all the wildlife, how they incorporated the fake wildlife with the real wildlife, which there was like algae. There was algae everywhere, which I couldn't really tell if it was real or not. But and then there was actual wildlife, like we saw a caterpillar or some sort of worm. It was cool.
Some sort of worm, walking on the moss. Yeah, but I mean, it's pretty unreal. So this is my first time seeing Pandora, Richie's too, and I mean, I gotta say, a couple years ago, or probably a little bit longer than that, but when they first announced that they were gonna build a land dedicated to Avatar, from a Disney freak, I was just like, whoa, what are you doing? Is this the right decision?
Yeah.
So, but to see it in person, I mean, it's pretty spectacular. Pictures don't do it justice, which, you see a lot of pictures scrolling through your Instagram feed. You see a lot of pictures going on, just checking news websites and things like that. But in person, it is just...
It's much bigger.
Oh, yeah.
It's much bigger.
The pictures don't do it justice to how the size is.
And what they did with the huge rocks and how they made it look like it's floating there, like how it was in the movie was... I don't know how they did it. Disney.
Really quick, do you remember much from the movie?
Not a lie. I saw it once.
Know.
It was like hours. It was hours long. I was like, I'm probably not going to watch that again. It was so long.
Yeah. I didn't really care for the movie, to be honest. But now that the land is here, it kind of makes me want to go see it. But I probably won't. It's not my thing.
What I really enjoyed about going to Pandora was it was our first, I think, like major Disney activity that we both did for the first time. Mm-hmm. Because everything before that she's been there before and I'm just now experiencing it. But that was our first, like, with the exception of Tokyo Disney Sea, that was the first time that we experienced something like for the first time together, which was cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So we were both kind of like, whoa.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
in awe, I guess you could say.
So also what was awesome, I guess, what we started off our trip with was we did this thing called the Taginger Hunt on Instagram, which was super awesome. Like it gave us so many cool things to do and see and talk about, which we're excited to also talk about on this episode. Mm-hmm. But I think after we saw Pandora Land, I think we started looking to complete those activities.
Yeah. So our 3 fast passes for the day were Expedition Everest, Dinosaur, and Kilimanjaro Safaris, which you can't go wrong with those fast passes. So I was really excited that those were all available. Our first fast pass was going to be for Everest. So right after Pandora, we went over to Everest to go ahead and do our fast pass and get the day started. And so that was also part of the Taginger Hunt. A lot of people really, really like Everest. It's one of their favorite rides in Animal Kingdom.
Well, it's awesome. It's a great ride.
Yeah.
And we did it twice because the lines were so, like, it was like a 20-minute wait for a regular line.
I know, and I don't even think we really waited 20 minutes. I think it was maybe 10 minutes that we waited in the regular line after we did our fast pass. So
That's awesome.
I thank you, Pandora, for allowing that to happen.
Yeah, that's
because I'm
definitely why.
convinced that's the only reason how.
That's definitely why it was not as packed as normal.
Yeah. And quick aside with fast passes, there were no fast passes available for anything in Pandora, unfortunately, by the time we booked, which is to be expected. I wasn't really surprised about that.
Next time.
Next time. Okay, so we did Expedition Everest, and then after that, we actually got one of our another Taginger Hunt activities was to get a soft serve from Anandapur Soft Serve.
Yeah,
Park.
which was insane because that thing was so much ice cream that I couldn't deal with it. It felt like it was endless. It was dripping everywhere. It was really good though. We got some solid pictures of me struggling to eat it.
It was really fun to watch you struggle eating it.
But it was good.
Yeah, I just had a bite. It was a lot of ice cream.
Yeah, it was good.
And then we walked over to past the monkeys, which the monkeys in Asia, I'm not sure what was going on, if it's mating season, but they were so loud.
They were active.
They were so active.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was like a gang fight, like they were trying to out-call each other, or if it was just something like mating season, or maybe they were just
No, they
really
were active. I had never seen that before.
Yeah, they were just loud because we were standing by one of another Taginger Hunt activity, which is a beautiful fountain across from Kali River Rapids. And that's right alongside one of the sides of the monkey area. And we were maybe there for about 20 minutes, and they just kept on howling.
It grew crowds.
Yes.
A lot of people were
chanting along with them, howling along with them.
It was interesting.
Yeah. But that was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Okay. And then after that, we went to Maharaja Jungle Trek, which is the walk through
With the lions?
tigers.
Tigers.
Yeah.
Sorry.
with the tigers, which is also part of our Taginger Hunt, and we're always excited to see different types of animals and hear the awesome cast members who know so much about these animals just tell you all these fun facts about them.
Which the interesting thing, so we had a lot to do, so we weren't there for long, but in our quick run through there, a little girl asked one of the cast members to do they eat each other, like the tigers? And she was like, and the answer was obviously they don't, unless they get, there's a really crazy situation where they're extremely hungry or something like that, but in reality they just don't. And it's just crazy because it really hit me that most species, I mean, I know there are some rarities in some species out there, but for the most part, species aren't killing within their own species for food. Usually, I mean, they might fight for territory and mating and things like that, but they never actually kill each other. That's not the goal, to kill each other for food and stuff. I thought that was pretty interesting.
That is pretty interesting. It's a good fact.
When they can, and they get really hungry, and obviously they look oh, there's another tiger. Yeah, but anyway, that was a cool thing that I learned there.
Yeah. And then I learned that a bat has a wingspan of 5 feet.
Those bats are terrifying.
They really are. But I think they're vegetarians, aren't they?
I don't know. But it was I just had images of fear of those things, 4 of them just coming at me and me just, crying on the floor of fear.
Don't attack me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was fun. I do like walking through there. Okay, and then after the Maharaja Jungle Trek, it was about our fast pass time for dinosaur. And so a lot of our fast passes were early in the day, so we just kind of had to book it from one area to the other, which was pretty cool. When we got to dinosaur, that somebody left, or a bag fell off the ride onto the track. So dinosaur was actually closed. So we couldn't go on right away, but then once they recovered the bag, we were able to do our fast pass. Yeah. How do you feel about dinosaur? Do you think it's scary?
It was a little bit more thrilling than I remembered. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was early in the morning, but I remember doing it before and it was okay. But then this time I was fairly scared a little bit. I was what's happening?
I was so scared. And that ride has always been scary for me. Yeah. I can't remember a time where at some point I didn't try to close one ear so it wasn't as loud, or like close my eyes a little bit when the Carnotaurus is like right here.
Yeah, and the left side is the worst, by the way. If anyone like fun, I think it's the scarier side.
Yeah,
She was on the left side, luckily.
Yeah, luckily.
What about the ketchup thing? Is that common? Do people know about that?
I'm not sure. I think probably a lot of Disney fans do know about it now, but for anybody who maybe doesn't know, so Dinosaur used to be sponsored by McDonald's, and the ride, not the movie. Didn't really need to specify that, and so once you go into the loading area, there's a bunch of pipes that are red, white, and yellow. And since it was sponsored by McDonald's previously, they're actually the chemical formulas for ketchup, mustard, and mayonnaise.
Interesting. That was interesting.
And I don't know about anybody else out there, but the smell of the dinosaur loading area, it's something about it.
It was distinct.
It's definitely distinct.
Yeah.
It's like you think it might be toxic, but in a good way.
I wonder if they do it on purpose or if it's because of like what's like the stuff that's in that ride.
They've got to be piping that smell in.
Yeah.
I don't see how I don't know. Because if they didn't, it'd probably smell really bad.
Yeah, true.
All those sweaty people down there, including us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was hot. That was around when it was getting hot too. The sun was starting to peek out.
Yeah.
It was overcast for most of the day, but there were some spots where the sun was coming out. Yeah.
Yeah. So then after Dinosaur, what did we do? Well, I did try to teach Richie about the wonder of Dino Land USA. And even every time I go with my brother to Animal Kingdom, and he is a Disney fanatic too, I still try to emphasize the wonder of Dino Land USA and the story behind the whole land about how they discovered fossils in this town. And then these locals are just trying to capitalize on the fact that there's a dinosaur research facility in this town.
Yeah.
And then you walk in and it looks like literally a road, and it's a roadside attraction, and there's like souvenirs and it's awesome.
Which is funny because she was explaining it to me and I was like, where was this? But
it's not real.
I know. I thought it was.
I mean, but the concept is probably really real.
Yeah,
I don't know of any town in specifically that has this going on, but I don't see why.
It could be real.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the craziest
That's
part.
Cool. Yeah, that is pretty crazy.
It's so crazy. Anyways, so after Dino Land USA, we walked towards the Tree of Life.
Okay, is that when we saw the kangaroo?
I think that's when we saw the kangaroo.
Oh my God, this kangaroo! We were just walking up because it was one of the Taginger hunt items that we were gonna go take a picture of was the Tree of Life. And we're just walking up, and then like kangaroo just comes out of nowhere, just like hopping. I was like, whoa!
Like with great speed.
Where did that thing come from?
He came out of nowhere.
And it just did it multiple times. We got some cool shots of that.
I've never seen a kangaroo right in front of the Tree of Life there, and he had a purpose. He was hopping with a purpose, so fast and yeah. But that was so cool.
It was.
And I do love the Tree of Life, how it kind of glows amongst the other trees since the leaves are so bright.
Yeah.
And then it has the awesome animal carvings on the tree. Mm-hmm. So that's always a fun thing to look at. And then out of nowhere came that kangaroo. So that escalated very quickly.
That escalated so fast.
So very fast.
Where did you come from?
And then I think we did It's Tough to Be a Bug after that because it is housed within the Tree of Life.
Yeah.
I love the show. Not one of my favorite things to go on because I have a little bit of a bug phobia. I don't like when...
As most of the world.
Yes. I don't like at the end of the ride or the show when we have to let the bugs go out first. So I have my legs like crouched into my chest because, I do not like that.
Yeah.
No, I do not. But yeah. Okay. So then after that, after It's Tough to Be a Bug, we went over to Africa, I believe.
Okay.
To the Dawa Bar.
Yes.
Yes.
Beer.
Yes. So by then it was definitely hot. Dawa Bar was also one of our Taginger Hunt activities, which I was super excited about because it's my day off. I want a beer. Mm-hmm. And it was nice and chilled. I had a Tusker lager. Highly recommend it to anybody who likes a good lager. And it was very, very relaxing to just kind of stand there by the bar top, having some of the breeze come through underneath the canopy. it was a good break.
Yeah.
I think we needed it at that point.
Yeah, we definitely did. In shade.
Yes, in shade. Of course, by this time, I think it was only like 1 o'clock. It was.
Yeah.
But we were up since like 3:30 in the morning,
Yeah.
so we were definitely starting to like, it's time to take a little bit of a break. Yeah. And you know what I really like now that in the Africa area, they have 3 women singers who tell stories. They're very interactive. They have these beautiful voices.
Yes.
They were there.
Yes.
And they're wonderful to listen to. And
then
then
the guy with the stilts.
yes.
The guy with the stilts is great.
Yes. He walks around with a little drum and he's keeping the drum beat while he's walking on these stilts. Very, very cool.
I just remember that he made like a song or whatever, and then like 10 minutes later we were just walking in like some random area, and then some kid like still had the song stuck in his head and he was like singing it. That was pretty funny. Okay.
That is pretty funny. You know what I forgot to mention? Our lunch at Flame Tree. Very, very delicious.
The pulled pork was amazing.
Yes. Do you want to tell them the story about how we ended up with 3 meals?
We kind of had to buy one, get one, because I had asked for one without coleslaw, and then
pulled pork sandwich.
I had a pulled pork sandwich, asked for it without coleslaw. They realized that they gave me one with coleslaw by accident, and then they just gave me another sandwich for free. So, BOGO.
Yeah. You ate both sandwiches though.
And I ate both of them. Yes, I wasn't gonna let that go to waste.
So Richie got the pulled pork sandwich, and then I got the half chicken.
Yeah.
Both were very, very delicious. The half chicken had a wonderful smoky flavor. It was tender, fall off the bone, and then it was accompanied with baked beans, which they're almost like chili beans. They had a really also good flavor to them. I really like beans. And the coleslaw was good, and the jalapeno cornbread was also really good. It didn't have too much of a spice. You just kind of taste the pepper flavor. Richie thought it was too spicy though, but I ate his.
Way too hot. I don't eat spicy food.
It's not that spicy.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay. So then after that, let's see. Well, we went to Tiffin's Lounge.
Yes, Tiffin's.
The Nomad Lounge next to Tiffin's restaurant.
It was so good. I love the vibe there. That place was like a legitimate gem that I will always go to when I'm in Animal Kingdom now.
It's so relaxing.
Yeah.
So I had a glass of wine. I had the Painted Wolf Pinotage, which is really good for anybody who's a red wine drinker. So delicious. And Richie, what did you have?
I had the tea. It was so good. Like that tea was fire. What was it?
It was a non-alcoholic passion fruit vanilla bean iced tea. It was really, really refreshing. Super refreshing.
Really I got one to go also. Like I had one there and I was like, can I get one to go? And they're like, yes. And that happened.
Well, the magical thing is you didn't even ask for it to go.
No, she offered it.
She offered it.
And I was like, in my mind, I said, like, she's a mind reader. That cast member was a mind reader because I was like, ooh, I wish I had one to go. And she was like, do you want one to go? And I was like, yes. Yes, I do. Thank you. She gave it to me in a plastic cup and everything. It was great.
I think she got the hint when you were like, what time do you guys close?
Yeah.
What time do you guys close?
Yeah. But Tiffin's was really cool. I really like that place. And we're going to eat there next time probably.
Yeah. So we were in the Nomad Lounge next to Tiffin's, which I've been into Tiffin's once before. The food is delicious. So I'm excited if you want to actually go there to eat. Cool. Something I want to try, totally off topic. Something I do want to try next time we go to Tiffin's is the French press pot.
Okay.
But that's besides the point. Anyways, So then after Nomad Lounge at Tiffin's, next to Tiffin's, we went to eat Mr. Kamal's fries.
Oh my God, the fries.
That was a first for me. I didn't even know that this kiosk existed. We had to Google like exactly where it was, and it was so it was in between Africa and Asia, and then you're walking, and if you're walking from Africa, it's going to be on your right hand side, and they're like seasoned fries with a spicy ketchup, and like a cucumber yogurt dipping sauce.
Yes, the ketchup was too spicy for me though, but the fries, just by itself, if the fries came with nothing, it was amazing. They
were so delicious. Yeah. They were a great snack too.
Yeah.
It's not an unreasonable size where 2 people can't finish it. So we just shared it, and it was just delicious.
That was good.
I was very pleased with that. Yeah. Okay. We also went to Flights of Wonder, which if you haven't seen Flights of Wonder before, these birds, you're amazed at what they can do.
They fly super low. They're well trained. Mm-hmm. Like, they're trained better than a lot of dogs I know. Which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, and then they said that they train them via positive reinforcement. So if they do something that the trainers likes, they get a treat. And then just outside the Flights of Wonder, when we were queuing up to go in, one of the trainers was explaining to us how an owl weighs only 3 pounds.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I was legit. I was like 20 pounds.
The owl
100%.
was like the size of like a small baby, and like maybe like a 3-year-old even, I would say. And like
That's a big difference.
like, well, okay, maybe it was like a toddler, but still, it was a large owl, and only weighed 3 pounds. That's insane because they're so light.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and they explained that was partly because of their bone structure, how it's almost like a honeycomb in there.
And there's like mostly feathers.
Yeah.
Why they look so big too.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
So that was also fun. And then to cap off our day at Animal Kingdom, we went to Kilimanjaro Safari.
Yes.
Which you can never go wrong with the safari.
Wait. Before though, on the way to the safari, we caught that parrot show where like the parrots flew in. We caught the most amazing video, which you could see on Instagram. It's like a slow-mo, and it's crazy because the guy was like, one of the cast members was like, if you have an iPhone, take it out right now and like do a slow-mo because it might be one of the best slow-mo videos you'll ever capture. And lo and behold, like that was a fact. Like we got literally the coolest of slow-mo videos of those parrots taking off. It was awesome. And then we went to the safari.
Yeah. But I mean, these parrots, which I didn't know this, so they're, because I always wonder what the difference between like what a macaw was and a parrot was. So a macaw is a type of parrot. So they were like macaws that just flew out of nowhere, and apparently they're kept off in an aviary about a half mile away from where they landed in front of the Tree of Life at Animal Kingdom where the show was.
Yeah.
And it was maybe like a 5-minute presentation, and he said, oh yeah, so how do we get them to here? Positive reinforcement, which is exactly what we learned in the bird show.
Yeah.
So that was crazy.
Yeah. So the safari was, so we've been on a couple safaris before, but I don't know what happened or what they did, but it was an amazing safari experience. Like all the animals were out, active and like visible, close. It was crazy.
Even so, when we go to the lions, I feel like on the Kilimanjaro safari, the lions are kind of hit or miss. Like you may or may not see them. We saw one male lion and 2 females taking a nap on the big rock right in the middle of the safari.
Yeah.
I mean,
the giraffes
was crazy.
were like active, eating like right there next to you.
Yeah.
Like,
and not that I would want to keep my, hands and arms inside the vehicle.
Yeah.
Of course I want to, but you could literally reach out and touch a Watusi cow or a wildebeest because they were just so
it was
close.
It was close.
It was insane.
Yeah.
One of the best safaris I think I've been on.
Definitely.
Yeah. So after we were done with the Kilimanjaro safari, it was time to go. We were done with our fast passes. We were super excited that we completed our Tag-and-Jar Hunt challenge, which was a ton of fun. I'm awesome. So glad thank you to everybody who participated. It was so fun for us to do.
We can't wait to do that one again.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely. So as we were walking to the car, the weather started to take a turn a little bit. So we hurried to our hotel, which we were staying at the All-Star Music Resort, which is a value resort, and it was...
Sorry to interrupt.
I'm sorry.
So it's something that really funny that happened on the way when we were walking to our car. So we kind of had like an inkling of like where our car was going to be. So luckily we found it, but on the way we saw a guy that looked like it looked like he had gone through like several stages of grief because he couldn't find his car. Like he was like, and at some point he was actually happy because he was like, it seemed like he was basking in like the craziness that like he can't find his car, and he was just thinking how ridiculous it was. Remember where you park. Like it is real that you can lose your car there.
Yeah,
like especially it's like he doesn't. He might not have been. I guess it's different when maybe you've been to Disney a few times, but like for a first timer. Like if that's foreign to you, you could easily lose your car.
Oh yeah, that's so true.
Funny. Sorry. Okay, so we got to the hotel.
Yeah, I mean we were lucky to find our car for that matter.
Yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, we got to the hotel. We did online check-in, so it made it a super seamless just check-in process. I just had to sign a little paper, and then we were off to our room. We stayed in Country Fair, which in the Country Fair building of All Star Music, there is a hidden Mickey. In one of
the boots.
In one of the boots.
Yeah.
So
hidden Mickey.
Go check it out. It was pretty crazy because we were just walking along with our luggage, like, oh my goodness, there's a hidden Mickey. The stay was really nice. The rooms are clean. They're efficient. I mean, they're great if you're not planning on spending a lot of time at the resort, which we didn't. We really only were there to sleep and clean up.
Yeah.
So we took a little bit of a nap. We cleaned up.
It rained. Like,
Yeah,
luckily,
it
the time
rained.
that we were in the hotel is when it poured and it came down. And then, then we went to dinner.
Yeah, we went to dinner at Sanaa, which was awesome. So when we first got to Sanaa, we didn't have a reservation because the poor planner that I am. I didn't think to make a reservation for it because we didn't really know where we wanted to eat.
But we didn't need it, luckily.
I know, but luckily we didn't need it. The hostess,
lounge.
when I asked her, hey, how long's the wait if I don't have a reservation? She just gave me this look like, ooh, I don't know, over an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And then she pointed us to the lounge, which we sat down right away. That we didn't have to wait at all. The server who helped us was so nice. And she was so helpful. Her name was Liz.
Yes.
Liz, if you're out there, thank you for everything.
Yes.
And it was a delicious meal.
Yeah, it was really good. We had like a bread option, like with trying all the different breads and the sauces. That was really good.
Yeah, so we got the naan bread and we got 3 sauces. One of them was a coriander sauce, one of them was tamarind, and the other one was a tomato date. All highly recommended. And one of the suggestions Liz gave us was mix the tamarind and the coriander on a bread, and it was awesome.
It was really good.
It was really, really good.
And then I had the steak, which was good.
Yeah, you had, I think it was the New York strip steak.
It was amazing.
And then I had one of the rice combinations. So I had the paneer cheese with the butter chicken. And so the butter chicken was a recommendation by Ear to Ear Magic. I wanted to make sure I got the name right.
Yeah, Ear to Ear Magic, thank you so much for recommending that.
It was a great recommendation.
She also pointed out there was a hidden Mickey at the hostess table, and it's not, which we found.
Yeah.
Which we also found another hidden Mickey in the lobby.
Of Kidani Village,
Yeah.
yeah. It was also, that one was harder to find.
That one was a difficult
No
one
idea
to
where that
find,
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just a delicious meal.
Yeah, it was good.
And then afterwards, we actually had to rush to the fireworks at Magic Kingdom. We really wanted to see Happily Ever After. It would be our first time for that as well. And we were going to meet up with my brother, who's a local in Orlando. And we literally met up with him at 8:59.
Barely. We
barely
made it.
met. We
Like,
barely
we're
made it.
One monorail ride away from not making it.
Yeah.
Was how like close we were. And but yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, mini review of Happily Ever After. You know it's good when grown men are crying 30 seconds into the show.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that when I was there, so obviously I've seen a lot of the movies, you know, like that were there, like The Lion King and things like that were on there, like Toy Story. And you could see like that the connection, like, I mean, I felt it too. Like, you can feel that there's a connection there that happens from that show. Mm-hmm. But then it was legit. Like, at some point, I started to take in not only the show, but the people that were watching the show, and saw that the emotion, and like, you know, there were people behind me, like, you know, like speaking out their emotions, like while I was going. And then, you know, looking around, there were also, I just saw men, like large grown men, adult people crying at what they were seeing because of the connections it made. But then I had another revelation at that time where not only like of how powerful that show had an impact on people, but then I saw that Disney has such an impact on people because of the connections of the movies. So I started to think, I was like, I wonder if like Disney would be as effective like on like as, you know, as an organization and as a company with all like the fan base that it has, if it would have been as effective if it didn't have the movies to go along. But then I started thinking there's no way, but because like Disney is so great because it creates the movies that you go and see wherever you are at home or like, you know, at the movie theater or wherever, and they create that initial connection with you, and then later on create that in real life when you go to the park. Like, and that was such a huge like revelation to me, and I was like, that was pretty mind blowing.
Wow.
Like that connection that was.
This is the first time I'm
made.
hearing about this too.
Yeah,
I'm excited for you.
That was intense. I thought I really did.
Wow. Well, okay, and then after that, we watched the projection show, which is called Once Upon a Time. Also a pretty good show. I don't know. It was hard for me after seeing the fireworks because the new fireworks, they show a lot of projections also that kind of go.
Yeah.
And I mean, Once Upon a Time was good. It was great, but I don't know. I would watch Happily Ever After again if it was my choice.
Which, speaking of, I mean, we spoke about this too at the park. It's such a great show, like what they do with the castle, that the fireworks sometimes I think takes away from it.
Well, I don't think they take away from it. I think they enhance it.
I mean, it
which
does
is the
enhance
idea.
it, but I think that, this is just a criticism of I think it's so powerful what they're already doing on the castle that I think the fireworks should be more provide more of an emphasis at certain points of that instead of being fireworks all the way through, because that's what it really was. It's fireworks, which is amazing. Because I'm sure there's two different people that are doing coordinating fireworks and coordinating the castle. So I'm sure they both want to equally tell their story on that castle. But I do think that the fireworks would be so much more effective and have a bigger impact if it came as an emphasis of certain points of the castle. That's my personal opinion.
I don't know.
That's one man's opinion.
Yeah.
It's one man's opinion.
I just feel like if with Wishes, which is the fireworks show before this one, they were able to tell this great story with just the music and the fireworks without any of the projections. And I think this is one of the strengths of the new fireworks show, that if you have just the fireworks or just the projections, if one wasn't working for the night and then you had the music, either one of them could stand on their own.
Yeah, they could.
So to put them together, I mean, probably depending on the person, they're going to prefer to focus on one or the other, which is something I struggled with because I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know which to look at.
Yeah, that's what makes it hard.
Yeah, but I mean, overall, definitely, it seems like you were satisfied with the show.
I definitely was. I mean, and it was too because I felt the emotion. I saw that this is powerful. This is pretty crazy.
So after we watched Once Upon a Time, which is the production show, we went to do a quick ride on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, which we sat in a back row, which is, I think, the only way to go, and it was at night. I mean, this is one of those rides that really, if you don't experience it at night, you haven't experienced it to its fullest ability.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. And then after that, we just headed back to the hotel. We did check, since Animal Kingdom had extra magic hours, we wanted to check what the wait times were like for the rides in Pandora. Yeah, it turns out they were cutting off admission to wait in line for the rides because they just knew that by the 1 o'clock came around, people were not going to be able to get on that ride if they kept letting people on. So we decided to just go back to the hotel and just relax for the rest of the night.
Yeah. And then we did Disney Springs, which the only reason... The next day. Yeah, sorry. We slept. And then, so the next morning, what I really wanted to do was go to Disney Springs to go to Uniqlo because it's probably one of my favorite stores in terms of shopping for clothes, which we first discovered in Japan. And then I was super excited to hear that they brought it to Orlando in Disney Springs. So that was the main reason we went there. And we got these cool shirts.
Yes. We both have Mickey shirts on right now.
Yeah.
Mine was only $4.90. Couldn't believe, and it's pretty awesome.
High quality, it's high quality, and I got a bunch this. I've never bought Disney stuff, and I've been telling her I've been wanting to get Disney clothing, and now because of the Uniqlo, I will only buy my Disney gear from Uniqlo because the designs are awesome, the quality's great, and so I bought a bunch of other shirts, but this is probably the coolest one I think I got. So I'm really excited.
Well, it's crazy because the Uniqlo store, when you're in there, it really feels like you're in a store in Japan. You kind of just disconnect from the fact that you are in Disney in Orlando, Florida, and you just feel like you're transported there. And you're in just a store.
And we were there for hours. I blacked out.
We were literally there for hours. I don't know how that happened. We were just supposed to go in, check out some stuff, maybe grab a couple things.
I left. What happened? How long was I out for?
Yeah, so after that, we were pretty hungry. We actually ate lunch at the Polite Pig, which is a newer restaurant. They call it Modern Barbecue and Taps. I had the fried chicken sandwich, which has pimento cheese, coleslaw, and this spicy honey glaze. It was totally delicious, and I paired it with the sweet potato tots. Also good. Very good.
The mac and cheese was fire. I had the mac and cheese.
So Richie had the mac and cheese and brisket, and
really
it comes with a roll.
Oh, the roll! I bought extra rolls. The rolls were so good. What they were butter
It was like a
and
sweet roll.
seasoned. They were seasoned.
Seasoned. I'm sorry.
They were seasoned rolls. They were so good. I bought 3 extra ones.
Yeah.
$1 each. Totally worth it. I would pay 2.
$2
$2 a roll.
each.
I would still done it.
Yeah, I mean the rolls were really good. They remind me of the King's Hawaiian rolls I could just get from the grocery store, and then they seasoned them.
Seasoned.
Yes. But they were really good. I got to try one when he had his extra order.
Yeah.
So that was good. Yeah, and that pretty much sums up our trip. We went home after that. We had to drive back to Miami, unfortunately. I could have stayed the whole weekend, but it is nice to come back on a Sunday, on a Saturday, so you have a full day Sunday.
Which was cool because and the traffic wasn't bad. We did have some rain on the way in. But before we wrap up, I did want to say one of my third revelations I had. So the revelation 1 was like, seeing all the grown men crying. And then 2 was realizing the connection that the movies had with being at the park. The third big thing I had that was a revelation was that like Walt Disney is Mickey. That to me was probably, and which, I guess I thought, and I was the only one that probably thought this, which obviously it's not, because there's like sculptures that have like, them in mirrored, like being like a mirror of themselves. But I just saw, like, I just thought about it. I was like, wow, this is crazy. I think Walt Disney, in drawing Mickey, was drawing himself and how he saw himself, like, in his own mind. Which I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. So I thought that was pretty cool to know that. I think when I see Mickey and, like, what he is probably who Walt thought he was.
So when you look at this shirt,
like we're
when you
wearing
see
Walt.
Mickey, yeah.
We are wearing Walt.
That's deep. Wow.
Like,
I appreciate you sharing that.
No, it's crazy because like, and that was just his passion, and like it's crazy, but like, they say like, you got to find your passions and what you do. And, that his passion was like, I guess, I don't say his passion was himself, but his passion was like doing better for the world, I'm sure. And in a reflection of that, it was Mickey doing that. So
that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. But so I think that's pretty much wraps up our trip report. So make sure to subscribe and to watch our other videos that should be popping up soon, hopefully. Check us out on Instagram at DisneyWTF.radio. We just got a Twitter at Disney_WTF, which we need to be more active on. We also obviously have a YouTube channel, which you're watching, so make sure, again, to subscribe. And we're on iTunes, so subscribe there. Leave us a comment. Give us a rating.
Thank you, everyone, for watching, and everybody who participated to help make this trip one that I'll never forget, and that Rich will never forget, with his mind being blown all 36 hours of it. So we hope everyone has a magical day. Thank you for watching.